Hi, this is Craig from Sulcata Grove. Today we're going to be looking at making some tree markers out of some cedar roofing shingles and wood burner. Hi, today we're going to be working on some more different type of plant markers. Traditionally I've done little tags, like store-bought tags that you can put in there, and I've made some out of aluminum cans. The problem with all of those is if you have a big full tree like a lychee or something like that, it can kind of get lost in there and it's hard to find them. So what I've started doing now is doing some wooden signs that can go on stakes in front of the tree, more like something you might see at a botanical park, and it's easy to see from a distance and you don't have to search through the trees for the tags. I'm making these out of cedar. And what I did was I went to, these came actually from Home Depot, and I bought a big pack of cedar shingles, and it was not very expensive. It was $8 or $9 for a big giant stack. I'm a little disappointed because a lot of these are really not usable. I've never used cedar to roof structure. I don't know if this is normal or not, but a lot of these have a lot of flaws in them, and there's not really much usable material on them. But there's enough of them in there that work, and so what I did was I cut a lot of pieces out, and they're different sizes, different shapes, but of the pieces that were actually usable. Tried to take out the knots and everything. If you wanted all yours to be the same size, that would be fine. You could certainly cut enough pieces the same size. I kind of have different sizes because I have different names of plants. Some of them are short, some of them are long. First time around I tried doing it, changing the font size to where they would fit on there, but the smaller font ones didn't look good, so I did them this way. So what I did was I printed out on the computer, just on regular paper, the names of some of the trees that I'm going to be doing today, and you can do any font you want. I tried to find one that had some pretty nice simple shapes to them. You want to do fancier ones, you certainly can. So let's start off. I've already got this one cut out, so let's do Dang Racimi. And I want to find a piece that's going to fit. I'm going to do this in 2 lines. So we'll just try to find a piece that fits. That's pretty good. And I'm just going to line these up, and I'm just going to use these clips to hold it in place. You don't really have to have them. I did some with it and some without, and it wasn't too hard to do it without. So once you have that clipped in place, I'm just going to use a regular ballpoint pen and go over the letters so that I have my shapes that I can wood burn. Okay, so once we've got that traced over, we can take the clips off, and we're actually done with the paper at this point. So after we've got that done, all we need to do is trace around these lines with our heating tool. Now, this is not a wood burning tool that if you have a wood burning tool, this would be better. This is a soldering iron, but it will work just as well. And you can just trace down these lines, and soldering iron I think is not quite as hot maybe, and it has to go a little slower, but I got nothing else to do today. Notice I did not finish the G. That's intentional. I have a couple of shortcuts that I've been using on a lot of these. I don't have a real steady hand for doing circles, and even though it's there and I can trace it, I wasn't real happy with how they were coming out. So I did a little cheat over here and I've got some, I did a couple of letters that I can do as branding irons. So I've got this is an O, but it'll also do G's, D's, B's, Q's. I don't have any Q's, I don't think, but that's my round part for that. And I have an E that does real nice E's. And so what I'll do for that is I'll just heat up my O. And finish my G. And get it all there. The top of this. Now, I can go back over that if I need to. Sometimes I don't get it perfect, but that saves me a lot of circling that I don't have to do. Let's do a little bit of my A out here too. Okay, so we got that done. Now I have noticed one thing is that when I use the branding iron letters, it does get hotter and it burns a little bit. So I usually come back over that with a little bit of sandpaper and just take out a little bit where that's brown the wood, and then there's your. Now at this point you need to stop and take a break and have some cherry Dr. Pepper because it's hot out here. All right, the next step is I'm just going to spray this with a clear coat enamel. Don't have to. I've just been doing the fronts. If you want to do the front, back, sides, and all that, you certainly can. This is cedar, so it really shouldn't have too many weathering problems. Main reason I'm spraying the clear coat on there is just to keep the charred part that's black in there, keeping it in there and keeping that from weathering off. So I'm going to go outside and spray this real quick with clear enamel, and then we'll come back in and put our stands on. So we're just going to coat the outside of this with a thin layer of using acrylic gloss spray here. You can use pretty much any kind of clear spray that's going to help seal in the ash from the wood burning and give it a little bit of waterproofing. So now we're ready to put our stands together here. And what I'm going to do is I've got several of these that I've done now, and so I'm just going to flip them over. And what I have on the back, these are just half-inch PVC couplings that I have cut off at an angle. I didn't think I did these at 22.5 degrees. You can do anywhere from 45 to 15 depending on how you want them to stand. And so what I'm going to do is just attach these to the back, and then when you stick these onto a piece of pipe in the ground, it's going to have it that angle. So I'm just going to use some epoxy to attach these. Now if you're doing a whole bunch of these at once, you can mix up all your epoxy cup like you're supposed to, and then I'm just going to mix these right on the boards because I'm not doing that many of them. Since you're doing this right on the untreated wood, it's going to be very porous and it's not going to really take a lot of epoxy to hold this together. And then I'm just going to mix it up right here with make sure I've got them in the right direction. Just going to use this to mix my epoxy. I'm just going to set that right in the center, pointing down. So this is a 5-minute epoxy, so we just need to let it sit for about 6 minutes. and cure. And what we're going to do next then is cut some, this, like I said, these are just pieces of 1/2-inch PVC coupling. So we'll just cut some 1/2-inch PVC pipe to use for stakes, and then we'll be ready to mount these in the ground. So for our stakes, we're just using a piece of 1/2-inch PVC pipe, and we're just gonna, you can put this kind of wherever. I like to go about it out at the drip line of the tree. You can make these as tall or as short as you want. Just slide that on, and we have our plant label.
Yo te traigo esta bomba puertorriqueña.